When I was younger, I was a part of this business team, and they had a very specific way of doing things, which I think was really important for duplication. You know, McDonald's knows how to take someone off the streets and within a few minutes teach them how to make a hamburger because they have a very clean, simple, clear system. So, but at times there are people like me that go, well, let me just step out of bounds. It's not going to be that big of a deal. And it isn't, but it is. And I wish that my then trainers, mentors, business partners would have simply allowed me to enjoy the fruit of my labor. Meaning, there's a specific outcome that comes from cooking chicken to 160 degrees. It's cooked well, and it's no pink, but it's still juicy, right? But if I am, for an example, if I am learning how to cook from someone and they tell me, hey, it has to be cooked at this temperature for this amount of time, and when you get a thermometer, you stick it in, it has to be at a specific temperature. And they tell me this very clearly, very simply. And I go, you know what? I'm going to cook it for a little bit longer, a little bit of high temperature, and the insides maybe a little bit lower. And I go off script, and they see me doing this, right? And to simply say why, and there's like, oh, because I did. Okay. Now, two things I feel in terms of being good mentors and teachers, in my personal opinion. When someone goes off script, I think there's two ways that can be, one of two ways. I'm sure there's many other ways that can be handled well, that it could be handled well. One, saying, I didn't tell you this before, if you didn't tell them this before, the negative consequences. Tell them the negative consequences of their actions, as well as the positive. Because we're cooking chicken, out of all the different types of proteins out there, is one of those that, if not cooked properly, can result in making you sick. Just like pork, if you eat pork. And the reason we cook it at this temperature for this amount of time and make sure the internal temperature is at a specific temperature is so that we don't get sick. And the way I know that is because when I was younger, here's what I did. So that's the first way to correct someone going off script. Nothing wrong with going off script, but depending on what it is, it needs to be corrected. That's one. Telling the positives and negatives of going off script with a story. Two. Now this, I would say, is if the person going off script is real hard-headed, and sometimes I really was hard-headed. I really was. I just wanted to do things my way. Nothing wrong with that either. But unfortunately, for people that are a little hard-headed, they need to taste the fruits of their labor. Meaning, with oversight, in my personal opinion, if you still care about them, let them eat it. Let them possibly get sick. Potentially. Right? Now, we don't want that. We really don't want that as people that care about other people. We really don't. But there comes a point with certain people where it's like they need to feel the consequences of their actions, especially if they don't listen. If you've told them the story, the pros and cons, if you've been nice and respectful and kind to them and educated them, but they still want to go off and do their own thing. I think it's important to give people that room for free will and feel the impact of their their decisions while telling them, hey, you are free to do this, especially as adults. You are free to do this. I just need you to know there is a possibility of you getting sick, and I just wanted you to know because I care about you. But I'm not going to stop you. You're going to do whatever it is that you're going to do. And I hope that you don't. But from my own experiences and other people's experiences, that is a thing that does happen. But no matter what, I'll be here for you. Some people don't agree with my approach in that way. I think it's important, depending on how hard-headed the individual is. I think it's important to remain respectful, continue to inform, and allow them to go and enjoy the fruits of their labor. And remain open if they ever want to return, because if they do return, that means that they've more likely learned, observed, and were humbled and realized, oh, okay, you weren't just trying to control them, because at times people, I know I have, felt like I was being controlled. I didn't understand the difference at the time between someone who's trying to control me and someone who's trying to protect me. Oof. The discernment on that. You need to know the discernment between control and protect. And that takes time to know the difference between, are they controlling me or are they protecting me? That was something on my mind today. So I just wanted to share it.